So definition of a set and subset, and the operations on sets like a union of sets, intersection of sets, complement of sets, difference of sets. So A may be for 7 marks and 8 marks. So totally 15. Each question carries 15. So you have to answer 4. 15 into 4 is 60, followed by the internal choice. The composition of the function, and the very important concept is invertible function, that is finding the inverse of a given function. Hello dear students, welcome to this session of Mathematical and Statistical Computing Introduction class of first semester BCA, MYSURU University. I am Mr. Niranjan, Faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Today in this session, I am going to introduce subject Mathematical and Statistical Computing. The agenda for this session is, I am going to discuss regarding the number of units and the syllabus in detail, then the internals, as well as the last part examination pattern. Now, so let me discuss in detail how many units are there in this subject, then the detailed syllabus, then the internals, as well as the examination pattern for a final examination. Now, first of all, let us know how many units are there. So this subject, Mathematical and Statistical Computing, contains 4 units. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3 and Unit 4. So the first unit are purely from mathematical part. So it will include algebra. And the second part is the statistical part. So second and third and fourth units are purely statistical, whereas Unit 1 and Unit 2 are purely algebra, right? So in the first unit, we are going to study regarding the introduction to mathematical logic and the set theory. In the first unit, you are going to study regarding mathematical logic, the definition and the construction of truth table and the problems related to those truth tables. And the second part in this chapter is the set theory, definition of set and types of sets and the problems related to sets depending upon the operations on sets like union of sets, intersection of sets, difference of sets, complementation of sets, and very, very important is the Venn diagram, right? So that is what you are going to study in unit number 1. So in unit 1, mathematical logic and the set theory. The second unit, unit 2. So unit 2 is nothing but the relations and functions. So in that we are going to study regarding the Cartesian product, properties of relations and the functions and the properties of functions. So second unit, that is relations and function, Cartesian product and relation, properties of relations and functions. So these two comes in algebra part. So in unit 3 we are going to study regarding the statistical method. So here in unit 3 you are going to study regarding a mean, then mode, right? Mean, mode and the problems related to mean, mode. And the last unit is, again it is the statistical part, that is nothing but the standard deviation. Standard deviation. So finding the standard deviation for the given data, either it may be grouped or ungrouped data. So these are the 4 units we are going to study in mathematical and statistical computing of first semester BCA, right? So there are 4 units. Unit 1, mathematical logic, introduction and the set theory. Second unit is Cartesian product and relation, properties of relations and functions. And third unit is statistical method. And the fourth unit is standard deviation. So these are the 4 units. Now let us discuss in detail what are the topics contained in unit 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let us discuss the syllabus in detail. In unit 1, so in first unit, so mathematical logic, that is the statement of mathematical logic. What is the meaning, definition, then the statement for truth values, and then the connectives like negation, conjunction, disjunction and biconditional, and construction of the truth table depending upon the given statement. So we are going to study regarding the definition and the connectives and writing the truth table for those connectives like conjunction, disjunction, conditional, biconditional, and the problems related to the statements and the formulas. So that is called the construction of a truth table. So here we are going to study all the concept and the problems related to tautology, contradiction Further, we are going to study few more concepts like converse, inverse, and the contrapositive. Now, this comes in the first part of the unit 1. Whereas in the second part of the unit 1, in unit 1 itself, you are going to study sets and subsets. So, definition of a set and subset, and the operations on sets like a union of sets, intersection of sets, complement of sets, difference of sets, and representing all those in a diagram called Venn diagram. So, that is theory of counting and a Venn diagram. So, these are the things which we are going to study in unit number 1. Now, whereas move on to the second unit. In the second unit, so we are going to study the Cartesian product and the relation. Cartesian product, that is A into B. A cross B is called the Cartesian product. Once if you know the Cartesian product, then only it is easy to write the relation. So, relations and the properties of relation, that is the types of relations. What is a relation, definition, and the different types of relations. Next, second part in this is computer recognition of relation matrix and the directed graph and equivalence relation and the partition. This is an important concept. Here we are going to study regarding equivalence relation and the problems related to equivalence relation and representation of this equivalence relation in a graphical method, that is by arrow diagram, as well as representation of this relation in a matrix form. Relation matrices and a directed graph for this equivalence relation and the partition. Now, and the next part in this same unit is function. So, what is a function? Definition of a function and different types of functions like one functions, onto functions, into function, many functions, and the invertible function, that is depending upon the composition of the function and the inverse of the function, that is invertible function. This is also a very important concept. So, different types of function, one function, onto function, into function, many function. So, like bijective function, and the composition of the function, and the very important concept is invertible function, that is finding the inverse of a given function. Now, these two are the first and second units. Now, move on to the third unit. The third unit and fourth unit are entirely the statistical part. So, the unit 3, third unit. In third unit, we are going to study statistical method. So, introduction, then definition, classification, frequency distribution, then mean, arithmetic mean for grouped and ungrouped data. So, here we are going to study the definition for mean and arithmetic mean, then for a grouped and ungrouped data. Next, median. So, median, the definition of a median, meaning and the calculation of median for the given ungrouped data. Then mode. Mode meaning calculation of mode for discrete series and a continuous series. So, in this unit you are going to study regarding finding the mean and mode for a grouped and ungrouped data. So, the problems may be like find the mean about the deviation or mode about the deviation. So, those type of problems you are going to study in this statistical method, particularly in finding the mean, median and mode. Now, move on to the last unit, the fourth unit. In the fourth unit, same again statistics, continuation of the statistical part, that is the standard deviation. Standard deviation. So, the meaning of standard deviation and finding the standard deviation by actual method or by assumed mean method, and the third one is the step deviation method using discrete series, right. So, here finding the standard deviation by actual method, assumed mean method, and the step deviation method using discrete series. And the continuous series, the next concept is the continuous series. The next we are going to study is the coefficient of variation, that is the definition, meaning and the problems related to coefficient of variation, and the correlation. Here also finding the correlation, types of correlation, rank correlation, and the problems related to correlation. And the last concept is simple linear regression. So, the meaning of regression and the properties related to regression. So, these are the 4 units we are going to study in first semester BCA Mathematical and Statistical Computing. Hope you followed. Now, move on to the next concept. Let us discuss regarding the internals. So, usually you will have 2 internals. So, the first internals from unit 1 and 2, first unit and second unit. So, the unit 1 and unit 2 for first internals, And the second internals is from unit 3 and 4. So third unit and the fourth unit. So from third and fourth unit you will expect one internals, and from first and second unit you will expect first internals, and from third and fourth unit you will expect a second internal. So the internals may be for 20 marks, right? 20 marks. Each internals will be for 20 marks. So you will have two internals, first unit, second unit, first internal, third and fourth unit for a second internal. Each internals for 20 marks each, right? That is regarding internals is concerned. So two internals, 20 marks each. Sometimes it may vary. They may choose first and third unit for first internal, or second and fourth unit for the second internal. It depends upon the situation, right? Now move on to the next part. The next part is the very important part, that is the examination pattern. So in the examination pattern, so you are going to write theory examination for 80 marks, 80 writing part plus 20 marks for internals, totally 100 marks, right? So here 20 internals, this is internals, and 80 for the writing part. So in 80 marks you will have two parts, part A and part B. In part A 20 marks, part B 60 marks, right? So in part A you are going to answer only 2 marks 10 questions. So answer any 10 questions. So there may be 3-4 choices. So 14-15 questions will be there. So you have to answer 10 questions. Each carries 2 marks. So 2 into 10. So you will expect 2 marks question from all the units. Unit 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now in the second part you will have 60 marks. In part B, so you have to answer 4 questions, 4 full questions, followed by the internal choice. So suppose say if it is question number A1, it contains A, B. So A may be for 7 marks and 8 marks. So totally 15. Each question carries 15. So you have to answer 4. 15 into 4 is 60, followed by the internal choice, right, like this. So here it may be first question is for 8 marks and the second question is for 7 marks. Totally each question carries 15 marks. So 15 into 4 you are going to answer 15 into 4, that's equal to 60. 60 plus 20, 80. This is how the question paper set for 80 marks. So 20 marks, 2 marks questions, 7 marks or 8 marks. Sometimes they may ask even for 5 marks and 6 marks also, right? So this is the question paper pattern for first semester BCA of mathematical and statistical computing. Now the last part in this discussion is the reference books. Which are the books we are going to use for references? There are so many books. Let me discuss few books which we are going to refer. So the first is the Kenneth H. Rosen, that is the Discrete Mathematics and its Application by McGrath Publication. And the second one is the Jayant Ganguly. So again it is also nothing but the Discrete Mathematics by Singesh Pearson Publication. So first one is the Kenneth H. Rosen, second one is Jayant Ganguly. And the third one is algebraic part, that is Discrete Mathematics, D.S. Maulik and M.K. Sen, Discrete Mathematical Structure, that is for first and second units. Whereas for third and fourth unit, we are going to study the statistic from these two books, that is Fundamentals of Mathematical Statistics, Gupta and Kapoor, again Mathematical Statistics by John. So these are the books we are going to use as reference books for this subject. Hope you followed. So this is the detailed syllabus of first semester BCA, Mathematical and Statistical Computing, right? So that's all regarding this session. Let us meet with the concept in the next session. Thank you very much.